Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm back again for another episode of Lincolnshire Freemasonry Stories. And I'm with the lovely Richard Crowe from Lumley 1893 Lodge in Skegness. And he's come to join us today to tell us his Freemasonry story. So welcome, Richard, and thank you for joining us today.
That's okay, Chris. Thanks for the invite.
No worries, mate, no worries. Richard, what I'm wanting to do is spend 10 or 15 minutes of your very valuable time to discuss your Freemasonry journey and what you get out of it, what you change, those sort of things. So the first thing I'd like to kick off with is, when did the subject of Freemasonry come up in your life? Was it someone that approached you? Did you see it on the website? How did you get involved with this merry gang of men?
Well, I knew a few people that were in it. And I'd not really done much about it. And then we had a bit of a banter group on Facebook where a couple of the members are Masons, and it's like a football banter group for middle-aged men, I guess.
Who do you follow?
I'm a Spurs fan, I'm afraid.
No, don't be afraid about it. I'll let you know. I don't follow football, but all my friends follow Spurs. So and I've promised my next door neighbour, because he's one, that if I ever use the word Arsenal scum, then I have to use the word scum whenever I use the word Arsenal scum.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I don't know why I do that. Let's not bore people today, but by all accounts, they are the scum, whatever that means.
Indeed they are. That's quite right. That's quite right.
So you call you Spurs. Okay, so you're in a football banter group. Yeah, go on.
And a couple of lads in there, they're Masons, and I kind of been interested in it, but without really knowing where to go or anything like that. And I actually just dropped one of the lads a message, and I think this was maybe a Wednesday night, and by the Thursday I'd had a phone call, and then on the Saturday they were getting me drunk in the pub and buying me drinks. So
it sounds like lynching, getting the king's shilling when you're into the navy.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was quite interesting, really, because they came down to my local. They wouldn't have me going anywhere. They wouldn't have me buy a drink, which I was like, I can do this. This is standard rules, is it, or just when you join it?
Don't tell me they told you the line there. There's only 8 meetings a year.
Well, I haven't even had that, mate.
I was told that line, and it's like 8 meetings a month. It doesn't really want to go. But
I've delivered chips for longer than what my masonry career has been so far. They came down and they asked and said, could we bring a few of the other guys? And I was quite surprised, really, because the people that turned up were like, oh, him, what? I know him. And I'm like, you're a Mason, you're kidding me.
What? So, and were they all suited and booted and posh up?
No, just casual.
Normal people or posh upper class?
None of them normal, I wouldn't say.
Well, you wouldn't say that coming from a Skeg, but
No, just normal guys. And actually, the majority guys that I'd been acquainted with for maybe quite some time, to be honest. So it was quite a surprise. It was like, oh, blimey, I never knew you was in the lodge, like. So they kind of made me feel very welcome. Okay. And then it kind of went from there. They proposed me, and then I had my initiation in January.
Just January just gone?
Yeah. So I literally had one meeting, and then they invented COVID due to regretting asking me to come in, I think.
There you go. There you go. If you don't mind me saying, some people have got some perceptions of Freemasonry. What did your family think about it all?
My girlfriend, her uncle, he's in the lodge. Okay. And in actual fact, her best friend, her husband, he's been Grand Master at the Daylight Lodge over in Horncastle.
Okay.
And she's actually read at a ladies' day before. My girlfriend has. So she was absolutely fine with it. And the rest of my family, they're kind of I don't think they really know what goes on. So, I do as I do, and that's it, really.
Okay, so without letting too much away, because not that there's any secrets, but we like to keep the surprise. How did you feel about your initiation ceremony?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. I had quite a few people turn up. In fact, like I said, this chap who he would been Grandmaster at Daylight Lodge over in Horncastle. Funnily enough, I met him about 17 years ago. I sold him insurance, and we stayed acquainted all that time, got on really well. And then it was all of a sudden, oh, you're in. And he came over to surprise me, and he was at my initiation.
Good stuff, good stuff. Now, obviously, COVID came along, so you haven't been able to progress to your second and your third degree ceremony. And
or even my second meeting.
I'm telling you here and now, your second's good, but your third is amazing, and that is certainly worth it. And you've got to remember, everyone in that room has been where you are. So even though you might look a prat and feel a prat, trust me, we've all been there.
Do that every day, Chris.
There you go. Now, what I want to do is that the thing that particularly impressed the guys in the provincial communications team, and that's one of the big reasons why you're here, is that even though you've only been a Freemason for literally months, the amount of work that you have done for Freemasonry in your part of Lincolnshire, it's been truly amazing. In fact, I think what you have done along with others at Lumley Lodge, I would expect a Mason to do it over decades, and you've done it in literally months. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing with the fish and chips with regard to helping the both NHS key workers, but also the widows of Freemasons, with regard to your fish and chips, because I think this is a very special story. Tell me a bit more.
It was fantastic, really. I got asked if I would be available to deliver free fish and chips to some select people. There was some elderly, vulnerable, Masons' widows. There was the kids at the school. Okay, obviously the key workers' children were still going to school, and they weren't opening the canteen or anything, so it was very difficult for them. They needed feeding, so we took food there. There was the fire service, the police station, so all the key workers, and of course the hospital also.
And what sort of feedback did you get, especially from the Masons' widows?
I really enjoyed it. They were probably the nicest people to deliver to. Strangely, everybody else, it was kind of like here you go, and then I was running. Okay, because they were busy, they didn't want to stop and talk. And the widows, they wanted your time as well. And of course, they'd probably been in lockdown a lot longer than what we had already. And I myself, I was feeling, the mental strain of, just being at home. It was awkward. It was hard for a lot of people. So when you then go and see these people, not only do they appreciate the gesture and your time and what you're doing, they actually wanted to see you as well. And they were all asking after me, take your mask off, so just step back. And they wanted to actually, see you without the mask. They were asking me how long I'd been in, what I did and everything. It was lovely.
I mean, if you roll the clock forward, say, 50, 60 years, and let's say, unfortunately, you pass away, and let's say you get married or don't, as the case may be, to your girlfriend, how would it make you feel that, in 70 years' time, there'll be Freemasons doing the same thing for your missus? How would that make you feel?
I think it's absolutely fantastic. I really do. I think it's great, especially in the way of how they looked after the ladies. And, I thought it was great. In particular, there was one lady I went to see, and I understand she likes a chap, okay? And I pulled up and I took her chips, and she started telling me, you know, loads about her life, especially about her husband, who she absolutely adored, you could tell. And he's passed away. And she told me all about, she was like, oh, I shouldn't keep you, your chips are going to get cold. And I could tell she wanted to speak. And I just said, look, I said, I'll be honest with you, you're my last drop. Okay. So I said, I'm not doing anything else. I can't leave the house. So I'm only going to go back home and sit in a house. So if you've got a story to tell me, tell me. Well, I'll tell you, we must have stood there for about 35, 40 minutes. She told me all about how she met her husband. He's the only boyfriend she'd ever had, and they got married. And she actually told me a secret that she even never told her husband whilst he was alive. And I came home, told my girlfriend when she got home. She was nearly in tears. It was a beautiful story, which I won't go into, but it was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I knew that I could see the joy on her face telling me the story. It's all she wanted to do.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I mean, you're going to find out, because I said you've only been to one meeting. That the great thing about Freemasonry is that you get the bants that you're going down the pub with the boys.
Yeah.
You can have a couple of beers as well afterwards. Yet the ceremony upstairs and is the serious stuff, but you'll learn to love that. It will take you a good 12 or 18 months for it all to click. I'm warning you in advance, because for the first 12 or 18 months, you're going to be like a rabbit. You know, what the hell's happening here? Because everyone's walking out of the room doing it. It will click, trust me.
Yeah.
And then you have the charitable element. You're obviously in credit on that one.
I like that.
It's a great one for you on Richard. We really are proud of you in the province for that.
Lisa.
And really, all I'm going to say is I would normally ask is sell Freemasonry to me, but you've only been to one meeting, but you encapsulate what Freemasonry is all about, which is having fun, having a couple of beers, as I know you've had a couple of beers at your first meeting sitting on the top table. Trust me, that's the first. The next time you sit at that top table, it's going to be a good 9 years, 10 years time, mate.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. You'll love it. And I just want to say thank you today, Richard, for sharing your story with the Lincolnshire Freemasons. And I think it's inspirational for all you other Freemasons out there in Lincolnshire and all around the UK to learn and to listen to what Richard's story, so you can give back to your community, to the widows.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
at the end of the day, how would you feel when you pop your clogs if your missus is looked after in some shape or form? And I think that's important.
Yeah.
So, Richard, you've been absolutely amazing today. Thank you for your time. If you are a Lincolnshire Freemason and you have an interesting story to tell, please do contact Stuart Piercy, who is the Provincial Communications Officer, and he's contactable through the Lincolnshire Provincial website. Again, final thank you, Richard, for your time today. You're an absolute star. Please carry on with your Freemasonry career. We're very proud of you, and good luck. And next time I'm in the Skegness area, I've already been invited to you guys. I look forward to having a swift shandy with you, sir.
Fantastic.
Cheers. Thank you for your time today.
Bye-bye.